Hello and welcome to the Bench Report. You're listening to Amy and Ivan.
Hello. Today we're looking at something that came up recently in Parliament, the state of support for people with ADHD here in the UK.
That's right. It's clearly a topic causing a lot of concern, and the discussion really highlighted some major challenges.
Exactly. So our aim is to sort of unpack the key points from that conversation, covering diagnosis, treatment, access, the whole picture, really.
And hopefully give you a clearer understanding of where things stand with ADHD support right now and why these issues are, well, so important for so many people.
Okay, maybe we should start with the scale of the problem. The waiting lists were a huge focus.
They really were. That Oxfordshire example is staggering. The adult list, it's basically closed.
Functionally closed, yeah. And the numbers.
From March, they had 2,385 people waiting, but capacity for only 26 assessments a month.
Which means if it were open, someone joining now might wait.
An estimated 7.5 years, just to be seen.
And it's not just Oxfordshire. Northern Ireland was mentioned too. 5 years for children, 8 for adults. It's quite something.
Plus, referrals are soaring. Oxfordshire saw almost a 50% jump between 2019 and 2024.
And nationally. The estimate to clear the adult backlog is, on average, 8 years. Could be decades for some trusts.
That time frame itself just screams crisis, doesn't it?
And it's not just getting the assessment. There are systemic barriers after that.
Like the transition from child services, CMHS, to adult services.
Right. In places like Oxfordshire, again, with that adult list closed since February 2024, where do young people go?
It becomes a dead end, essentially. They age out and there's nothing there.
Then there's the whole issue around medication continuation. Nice guidelines say annual specialist reviews are needed.
But these reviews often aren't actually commissioned, not funded, in areas like Oxfordshire.
So GPs are left in a really tricky spot. They might feel they have to stop prescribing controlled ADHD meds without that specialist sign-off.
Leaving people with the diagnosis, but potentially without access to the medication they rely on, it seems counterintuitive.
And the shared care model, where a specialist passes prescribing to the GP, that's also hitting bumps, especially for private diagnoses.
Yes, GPs might refuse to take over prescribing even with a valid private diagnosis.
Leaving people stuck. And then you mentioned Northern Ireland.
Where schools sometimes won't even accept a private diagnosis, forcing families onto those massive NHS lists anyway.
It really does create this feeling of a sort of two-tier system emerging, private versus NHS.
It's important context, though, isn't it, that this surge in demand might be more about awareness.
Exactly. Increased awareness and acceptance rather than necessarily more people having ADHD. Some research, like from King's College London, points that way.
But it doesn't change the fact that healthcare professionals are clearly feeling, well, overwhelmed by the sheer volume.
So what's actually being proposed or done?
Right.
There's the government's ADHD task force launched in March.
Right. They're meant to be figuring out the challenges and looking beyond just health needs. Interim findings expected soon, apparently.
NHS England is also looking at improving data collection and finding examples of, innovative local services that ICBs are trying out.
And specific ideas were floated, too, like universal primary school screening, more teacher training.
Including ADHD in the 18-week target for first appointments, maybe. Targeted info for harder-to-reach groups.
Oxfordshire's ICB mentioned trying to reopen an 18 to 25 service, maybe mid to late 2025, though there was definite skepticism about timelines.
Understandably, given past delays. And technology is playing a role too, like QB test helping with child assessments.
But while all that's happening, the consequences of these delays are really severe.
Hugely. Untreated ADHD is linked to being a leading cause of school exclusions, lower academic results, higher dropout rates.
And the link to the justice system is pretty stark. That figure of 25% of the UK prison population having ADHD.
It suggests untreated symptoms, maybe impulsivity, could be a factor driving some offending behavior.
Plus connections to substance misuse, family breakdown, serious mental health problems. It's a wide impact.
And discrimination came up too.
Yes, specific examples were given: the Army, RAF, Royal Navy, police actively discriminating or not employing people with ADHD. That's quite shocking.
We should also quickly touch on the medication shortages people have faced.
Yes. It sounds like things have improved for some, like lisdexamfetamine, but there are still issues for others, like certain methylphenidate types.
The government says it's working with manufacturers and updating guidance for pharmacists and doctors.
So, wrapping this up, why does this matter to you listening? Well, whether it affects you directly or not, these systemic problems impact education, workplaces, community well-being. Everything, really.
And maybe a final thought to leave you with. Given all these hurdles in getting diagnosed and treated promptly, the idea came up. What if ADHD was consistently managed like other long-term conditions, like diabetes or hypertension? Could that shift allow people to actually thrive and contribute fully instead of hitting these constant roadblocks? Something to think about.
As always, find us on social media at Bench Report UK. Get in touch with any topic important to you.
Remember, politics is everyone's business. Take care.
Hello there, this is Tom, the producer of The Bench Report. Listener suggestions are vital to my mission of making politics more accessible and accountable. So, if you have an issue that's really important to you, personally or professionally, and want to know what those in power are doing about it, please get in touch via email or via our socials at Bench Report UK. I'll grab another coffee and start scanning those parliamentary archives.